picked up this Pontiac in the summer of 2019. With the intent that I was going to chop it and lower it. I wanted to bag it originally, so this is kind of what my plan was. But after realizing I got it to the shop, I cut all the springs out, and this was the best stance I can get out of it. I realized the fenders weren't deep enough like a Chevy to be able to bag the car properly, so I decided to go static, or the plan was to go static. I proceeded to give it a 4-inch chop, so this was like the start of my chop. This was before I was doing YouTube. Yeah, so basically this is the stages where I got, and then I started doing my YouTube thing, so hope you enjoy the video.
Gonna start on, actually I've started already, but the 38 Pontiac. The game plan, I've already chopped it. It's got a 4-inch chop. I've cut all the springs out of it because I was trying to see how low I could get the car. I'm going to turn it into a 3-window. That's the plan. You can see the chop, nothing's finished. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. Body line, I'm not sure. It's got a weird molded drip rail on it. So I'm working on that in my head anyways. I've chopped the back window just 3 inches. I've got some of the shape started. Kind of started it, I don't know, a couple months ago.
So all the cutting I'm doing around there, this is what I'm actually doing, is getting rid of, cutting off the crappy unused steel that I have. So that's pretty much scrap. But now it's just a straight butt weld. There's still a little piece here, but it's because I haven't welded this down yet. There you go. That's all that stuff that was in there. More scrap. Everything I didn't do. Hey! Good scrap. Mint.
Okay, here you can see, hopefully you can see how the drip rail has this nice, goes down, then it transitions to this gong show. It's actually sticking out. So essentially what I gotta do is I gotta cut this. This has to get pushed in more. And then this edge has to come down so I can correct what I didn't do yesterday. I might have to, what I end up gotta do is I'll have to do a slit underneath here. And then I can pull this rail out just a bit to finish this all off. I'll compare it to the other side. Well, maybe not. Depends how this turns out. But once I get that done, then I can get that cut out, and then I can do a new section off the top there. A new filler panel.
I'm starting to get tired of welding. I've been doing it for what feels like hours. Got a little bit of warpage happening up top, but I'm not too worried because I can plenish it out. I have a hammer that I'll show because I got a little bit of a dip here. Everything else feels pretty good though. Over here there's a little bit of a low spot too. But I'll dolly those out. I haven't even done this yet. I still got to weld all that, but I think I'm going to change pace here. I'm going to pull out the grinder. I'm going to start making a big mess here. I'm going to grind all this up. See how it looks. So I got some of the grinding all done. It's kind of roughed out. My grinder of choice for dressing welds actually is like it's not even a flap disc. It's just a paper disc. Cuts like a beast and it lays it pretty flat, which is what I like. There is some over on this side, which got a little hot, it's a little low. I'm gonna just hammer dolly it out. Might just grab my plenishing hammer. I have like an air powered plenishing hammer. I'll see how the hammer dolly works first. If that comes out the way I need it to, then I'll go with that. Alright, Monday night, gonna switch it up. I'm gonna start dismantling that thing to fit this thing in there. How far I get, I don't know. We'll see how ambitious I get. So you can kind of see the mess there. Mess over here. Now this is just strictly an eyeball, trying to see how and where we are here. This is not as terrible as I thought, but yeah, guys, you have to cut a lot of this stuff out to clear the steering box. That's kind of the norm. And then of course, you know, clearance that for your control arms and stuff. And we just keep setting it down until we pocket it into the frame, and then we can box it all up. Cool. Well, we're now Camaro clip installed. Everything's there. Still have to dress it and then I'll paint it and stuff, but for now it'll do till I mock up the motor and stuff. So I've been going back and forth on this, but I'm thinking I'm just going to go with a 4-bar. For now I'm just going to tack the diff in there till I make some mounts to hold the diff in. I'm just going to I'm going to square the frame up and then I'm going to zap it in there. Okay, I realize I didn't show you a lot of the fab work here, but I have the upper bars are in, the lower bars are tacked in. I am going to get rid of some of this junk here. I'm going to put in some plating just to gusset that up. My hoop-de-hoop is in there now. So now my braces are in. I still got to do shock mount, which looks like it's going to work. Between these, I'm going to make up some kind of a mount, as you can see. Seems like a good day to try to fit an LS in this thing. The plan here is I got an NV 3500 trans. I have just a junker motor that I use for mocking up, but at least I can try to get an idea where everything's going to fit. I really doubt those are going to work, so pretty much just going to slide everything in and see what I got to cut and whatnot to make everything fit. All right, as you can see, motor's loosely mounted in there. It's got to go back, but I have transmission clearance issues inside. As you can see, the motor mounts are not going to work, so I'm going to make something new there. Okay, here's our some of our dilemma. Right now, I've just got the tranny. It's just sitting on this. I mean, it's still on the strap here, but it's sitting on here, so she's not quite centered or where she's supposed to be. But I tried test fitting a drive shaft, and it doesn't actually fit through the hoop here. She's a little must have had smaller shafts back then. The U joint, all that stuff doesn't fit in there, so I'm going to have to enlarge in this whole area. So the plan will be just to blow this open for now, and because I want to be able to remove the transmission, I'm going to have to make somehow a removable subsection of this cross member. Alrighty, so these are the pieces that I cut out on the plasma table there. Just got to bash them in place. Well, I got to trim them up here a little bit there, and clean everything up, and then weld her in. Most of my motor mounts are in. I'm just going to make a triangulated gusset on the top right here. Something there just for a little extra meat. Okay. For some tabs are made. Just going to clean it up, burn them in. Okay, well here's where we're at. The motor mounts are welded in. I got to mark the holes to drill them yet. The exhaust, well, she almost fits. You can see it hits on this side, and this side not so nice. It's not terrible, so I might cut the manifolds and clock them. We've cut and welded them lots doing turbo stuff, so it'll be fine. And I gotta still cut off the old mounts. They don't really interfere with anything, but I do maybe want to run AC on here, so I'm gonna have to get rid of that thing there.
Underneath, you can see my crude motor mount is in. It's fine. I still have to build an X-frame. Like underneath here, I'm actually going to build a cross frame yet. Same on top, just like a plate, just to connect the two. And still be able to pull the transmission out. The motor mounts, you can kind of see how they are. I mean, they're nothing fancy, but they'll do what I need them to do. Okay, I'm not too pumped about it, but thinking I'm just going to start on the floor in here. See how it goes. Still have some floor work to do, but I think I was going to hang my pedals and stuff right now. See how that all works out. I have a pedal assembly from an S10. That is going to be what I'm going to use. I have the booster and everything from it as well. I kind of want to make sure I get this thing in place where I can still get my hood closed and everything else. So that's my first plan of attack, is to get that thing in. Hugely productive night, but kind of have my steering column where I think it looks good. Nothing's mounted, like everything's like really loosey-goosey here yet, but yeah, I don't know, things look okay. Okay, so here's the plan. A buddy did his firewall a while back, so he left his template, which is so darn close. Chevy, Pontiac, I don't know, they're pretty close. Just need to add a little bit to the middle there. So I'm going to widen that up. I'm going to take a little off the bottom, and I'm going to transfer that to some aluminum. So this is what I'm doing. This is what I guess they call like a machine turning. The way I do it, or the way I'm doing it here, is I just cut out a piece of scuff pad. So I took this chunk, I lay it down, I take my drill, I just have a emery cloth, whatever the heck the pad is on there. It's just not square, so it wobbles if I try doing it. So if you do it on the scuff pad, it at least doesn't walk on you. So I kind of, what you do is you start one row, boom, 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 then come back and cut halfway in, like halfway, so you have a half overlap. So the next round I'll kind of, so yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
can see, my fender's here, my tank hangs here, and when I air the car out with a smaller tire, my rear quarters actually hit the ground, so that's going to be a bit of a problem. And from behind, because the bumper's not very big, that looks really gross. Now, it's a plastic tank, so I'm kind of liking that in the sense that I can, if I accidentally drag it on the ground, there's like no sparks. That's kind of nice. This thing came out of like a Jeep, like a YJ or something like that. I don't know. Somebody wrecked one here and it was lying around. So it had an electric fuel pump, so that's kind of a win. I can switch out the pump. So I kind of dig it. It fits between the rails nice. So I'm thinking I'm just going to cut out the last bit of floor that I got that's really nice, and I will just raise the trunk floor to accommodate this. It's a big trunk. I don't need it all. I guess I can put my fuel tank in some of that space. Maybe I'll put a spare tire slug on the one side. I don't know. But I guess I'll just start hacking her up. Okie doke. Well, I got my rad sort of zapped in. Well, upper bolt holes are in. I made a bracket up here. I tied it into the bottom. The bottom of the rad's not tied in yet. I have to figure out how to get these filler necks to match up. I had bought some of these elbows on AliExpress just for something like this, so I'm probably gonna somehow figure out how to scab this thing underneath the rad so I can have a simple hose, and then I'll just weld this shut. This upper hose should be okay. Be close enough. It'll work. There to there. Waiting for my compressor to charge up, and then I'm cutting out my gauge cluster. I kind of gutted the old one, so I'm making a filler panel and I'll put all my gauges in there. That way I can bolt it back into the original spot. Well, that doesn't look too bad. Now I gotta pretty much pull it out and strip the dash, clean it all apart. For now I'll just leave it in there. But yeah, I got a bunch of cleaning up to do and figure out how I'm gonna do this glove box. I think that's about it for tonight. What I'm trying to do, because I have these lights but they don't have any guts, but they look way better than the ones that are supposed to be on that car. So I have lights like this with this really cool glass lens, but it doesn't fit in there. It's like the same size, but with this being buggered anyways, I'm thinking I'm going to take all this junk off and somehow put this housing inside of there, and then I can put a halogen bulb in here. This one's pretty crazy. chop these babies down. Look at that stuff. Fancy. So yeah, I gotta take a couple inches out of that. So I'll take you guys along for the ride while I do this. Okay, wing windows. First thing I gotta do here is get the glass out. And then this is gonna have to go down because of the way the new window comes. It'll be like down to here. So first things first, I'll have to get the glass out. I think I'm gonna drill these because it's gonna move into a different profile somehow. I'm not sure how, or this is, I don't know. We'll figure it out. I want to try doing it without cutting this. Although it might be easier, but if I do the one way, you might not notice it, that I mucked with it. I don't know, there's many ways to do it, and I guess we're going to find out. There's many ways I've done it. Regardless, gotta get the glass out first, so I'm going to get to that. If I put this in here, like so, she needs a bit of loving. Well, basically this is done. You can see, got my little doodad there. Now I gotta, what I'm gonna do is use the torch. I'm gonna heat this up. I've done it in the vise before and just manually forced it, but I find it kinks. And the chrome isn't very good on here, so I'm thinking I'm actually just gonna paint this. So, either way, I'm gonna heat this up and slowly bend it to what I need it to do here. Looks good. And that is in. That still needs, I gotta make the brace up on top. But, yeah. Wing window. Now I gotta do this all over again for the other one. But I'll save you that. I'll just do it. Well, just gonna work on my window molding. You can see there's a, this is I need to take a little bit out of it. So, I think the straightest part is probably around where that screw hole is. I'm going to cut just above that. And try to get this sucker to fit back in there. So, that's not a terrible fit. On this side, I got to still run the zip through there. It's a little tight. But I have to weld it yet, but I'll wait till I do all this other one. Right now, I've got a lot of cutting to do here. As you can see, the door shape has changed a lot. Alright, here is the finished product. I think it looks pretty good. Tonight, I'm going to tackle some of this dash. I'm going to pull this off, try to straighten that out. These are like light switches and stuff, but they're kind of just a fixture, permanent now. So I'll figure something out there. I do have a cover for this, so this is not a big deal. I have a new one of this and a cover. But this glove box I don't, and it's just pretty jacked up here. So I'm gonna pull this apart, try to straighten out that bracket so it actually functions. I'll figure out some way to latch this. And yeah, we'll start there, see where we get. So, gone from trashed, pretty crampy, to nice. So, let's see how that fits. Fits good, then I'll take it out, paint the inside or something, figure that out. Well, there we go. It fits pretty good. The fitment on the bottom is not perfect, but it doesn't rub. So, pretty good. I'm happy with it. Opens, does everything it's supposed to do. I'll have to make some stops in there and probably put a magnet or I'm going to do something just to hold that up. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way this all turned out. All right, you've seen a heck of a lot of screwing around going on. I got everything all done as close as I was going to be able to get underneath there, so I just like to put a coat of glass on everything just because I did do some welding and whatnot. I don't know if I'd say it seals it or does anything, but I'll first say I am no professional at any of this. I do whatever and it works, so... But anyways, I do a bit of glass. I'm going to sand this down a little bit. I'm not going to take very much of it off because the idea is not to... again, I don't put any more than I need on there just to do my initial coat. Then I'll actually do some mud. At least that'll be the next step. Yeah, I don't know what to say. It is what it is. The trunk is not terrible, so most of the hacking that went on was actually all done right here. Whatever happened, whoever put the pickaxe to the trunk there was that rust hole over there, so we fixed that. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep going at it. And first layer of mud. I know this looks crazy excessive, and that's because I'm very wasteful with this stuff because I don't have patience to go nuts to do this like a million times. So what I normally do is I put way too much on first time around, then I pull out the old cheese grater and I pretty much saw most of it all off, but makes life easier because I do that. I might actually use like a lead file or a rasp, whatever. I have to clean that because I don't know who used it last. I'll use that just to give it a finish, and then I hit it with the sander. But you know, usually my goal is to try to hit it with 2 coats and then I'm done. Otherwise you're gonna sit there forever. Put a little on, little off. At least that's when I took auto body in school. They always said, you know, put on a little bit and then you got to sand. Then it's this blotchy mess. And you always, when you put some Bondo on, you sand it. You end up buggering up everything around it. So you end up, the best to do is put everything. And then if I have to put a little bit of Bondo here, you're best to put too much on everywhere. So you have stuff to sand off everywhere. I don't know. I'm no professional. Actually, I'm no professional at it. I'm just telling you how I do it. Right or wrong, that's pretty much what I do. I'm sure there's better ways to do it, but like I say, Bondo's cheap, and instead of me pulling my hair out trying to do it all, I figure I just do it this way. Whatever. I don't know. It is what it is. Oh, these spots aren't terrible. This is sanded with 40. I'll hit it with 80, and then when I prime, I'll do some high build, and then I sand that down. But with just a single coat, well, other than the glass, the fiberglass, the Bondo, I got like a little spot here, and here, you can see, there's a little low spot. But the rest of it doesn't feel terrible. It's pretty good. Like the primer will fix the imperfections. I find the less I touch it, the straighter it'll be. The more times I have to go over it, I find I screw it up more. So that's what I've learned anyways. And that works for me. That doesn't always work for everybody else out there. I know that looked like excessive amount of Bondo, but like I say, I waste crazy amounts. But I'm not sitting here for hours on end. Like, it took longer for it to dry. It's been 20 minutes from, I think, when I had my last video, when maybe I mudded it. I don't remember what I had going on there. But yeah, and like I've almost nailed out the trunk, so. Okay, I don't know if you can see, there was a crease up here, but it's actually pretty much all gone. It's still a little rough out there, but it's pretty good. Over here, these don't feel too bad. I'll run the sander over at one time, and then we'll see if we see brown, or depending how much brown we see. Feels pretty good for the most part. I got pretty good around here. There's a low spot right here. This patch didn't work out, and it's behind the brace, so I'm going to have to pry that out. Rest of this, I'm going to do a little bit up here. This is low, low. So these aren't bad. Rest of the fender's pretty good. It's just everything in the front. Yep, I got one right there. So I got to do that one. I got to do a few here. So I'll schmooze those out, and then I'm going to give everything a sand. We'll see how that looks. There's still some imperfections, but wow, this is like, other than here, I don't know if I'm going to stud pull it, but it's not even a crazy dent, so I'm going to leave it. Out here, you can see there's still, like, I'll have to clean this out before I mud it, but there's like nothing. It's, I don't know, it's good enough. Just a driver. It's going to get all stone chipped and banged up anyways, so that's good enough for me. This all down with wax and silicone remover, just to get any fingerprints and stuff off. This was the stuff I used. It's just a habit of doing. It's probably a good habit. Next is I'm going to tack it off with a tack rag and then mix up some primer. Everything's all sealed up. Just letting it flash a little more. I'm just mixing up my paint right now. So I'm going to do first coat very shortly. There the girl sits. I splashed a little bit of paint on the rims. Borrowed Rolly's spider caps for now. I think it's a pretty killer combo. I like the black. Rolly had a good idea, so that's how we're going to finish up the grill here, I think. Where this stuff, where the chrome is just toast. I just painted it, but I think I'm going to paint the teeth on this side black just to match this. I think I want to take some tan into the mix here, so I might outline all the stripes with like a cream. I want to do the same on the wheels, so I'm probably going to stripe in here and around the rim, or try to. Do an attempt at it, see what happens. So when I got my paint, my tan, I think I'm going to practice doing the rims. I'm going to use this baby. And a bit of this. Okay, got the wheel all cleaned up. I am trying this sucker out again. here's my rough design that I came up with. I don't know. A little odd, but I think it'll be okay. I think it'll be fine. I think I'm just going to pleat the upper portion of this. And I gave myself lots of extra, so I'll be able to trim it after. But I'm going to pleat the upper part, and I'll leave the bottom kind of plain. Together. I guess it's fancy. I don't know. I'm on the fence about it. It is what it is. It's done. Now, see if I got enough to start figuring something out on the back panels. I'll probably start messing with that tonight. This is what I came up with. So, I don't know. It's something. It's not perfect, but it definitely looks better. Just a little wrinkly. We'll deal with it. Better than what it should be. I did wrap the top. I'll still have to wrap a little bit on the bottom of the windows there. But, make that panel load. So, yeah, we'll have to do some work on the wrinkles here. See if we can get them sorted out. And this little spot just tucks some of the material in there. Yeah. I don't know. It's fancy. Good enough. They're little modernish. Trying to work some wrinkles out of them, but yeah, I'll sit on them. That'll fix it. So right now I'm just gonna work on the weather stripping on the door. What I did is, I don't know, I was at a garage sale and somebody had a roll of this stuff for 10 bucks. I think it's for window, I don't know, something to do with windows anyways, but what I do is I put it in the car and I put a bit of urethane and I just glue it in the car and I make my weather stripping out of that. So you could cut the bottom off or something, but when you pack it in there you don't see it. So I don't know. That's what I've used. I have a lot of it, so.